Hello, my name is DeCorey Smith. I'm going to be a sixth grade teacher, his social study teacher, and our lesson for today is moon phases. We all have looked at the moon at some point in time in our lifetime, and we all have wondered how something so beautiful can be. The moon is the Earth's only natural satellite. It is round and shines bright in the sky. However, sometimes the moon is different, not bright and not just visible. And sometimes the moon is invisible. The question is why? The moon goes through different phases or stages as it travels around the earth. Students will gain knowledge and an understanding of the moon's history. Students will gain a sense of understanding through the knowledge of different moon phases and what affects these phases to take place and when. So, we're going to discuss the history of the moon and how it originated. The outline, we're going to outline and explain what the earth and the sun have in connection to the moon phases, describe the meanings of the word rotation and revolution, recognize and identify why the moon has phases, listen to scientific names for each phase in correct order, and make a model of each phase in order. So those are our lesson objectives. So when we talk about the history of the moon, we can't tell you the date. Scientists cannot tell us the date that the moon originated. But as I said earlier, the moon is the planet's natural satellite, meaning that the moon orbits around the earth. So similar to how the earth and the rest of the planets orbit around the solar system, around the sun in our solar system, the earth and the moon have that same connection. So earth orbits around the sun and it takes about 365 days, which we recognize as a year. The moon orbits around the earth and it takes the moon 29 days to orbit around the earth, which we also use as a month. Now within those 29 days, there are different phases that the moon takes up. Now, when we think about the moon, there is a real distinction in being able to recognize the moon phases. For one thing, within the daylight, it's pretty much impossible for the human eye to see the moon because of the radiant from the solar system's biggest star, which is the sun. So there are moments where the sun and the moon and the earth are positioned where you can see a full moon during the daytime. But most of the times within those 29 days, it's hard for human beings to see the moon with the sun up at the same time. So generally speaking, we're able to look at the different phases of the moon during nighttime. Now, those different phases of the moon can be called and be understood in a better light when we talk about the phases. So we know that there's a full moon, there's a half moon, and there is what we call a crescent moon. Now, within those different phases, we're able to recognize the day of the 29 days and figure out what phase we're in particular. So, for one, in the first phase, we are in the new moon. The second phase will be the waxing phase. The third phase will be the wanging phase. And the